Hi all, I'm Emerson and I'm here to describe the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol. The Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm is used to exchange keys between two parties, that is the sender and the receiver. The keys must be exchanged between the sender and the receiver to do the encryption and the decryption. Then what happens when the sender and the receiver exchange key and then a third party, an attacker, come in between them? The attacker will also get access in that key. That is, the channels we are sending this key may be insecure or it can be insecure, so the keys can be leaked. And you can also think about the damages that may happen when the key is accessed by an attacker. He will get access to any messages and he can do anything. So that's why we need a key exchange protocol which is secure to exchange keys between two authorized parties. So that's why we use a secured key exchange algorithm, that is the Diffie-Hellman algorithm here. And this is the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm. And as we earlier said, it is not an encryption algorithm. You can see it is not an encryption algorithm like RSA DES, which encrypts the plain text and converts it into ciphertext. And the next point is it is used to exchange secret keys between two users. And here we also only use asymmetric encryption to exchange the secret keys between users. That is, this is the public and private key concept that we will discuss in later. And why we are using this Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm? It is because when we are sending a key to a receiver, it can be attacked in between. So in order to prevent that attack, we are using the Diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm to increase the security to exchange keys between two parties. So we can check the algorithm. It is a simple algorithm. The Diffie-Hellman algorithm is very simple, and the first step is consider a prime number q. So we can take a prime number, that is q. The next step is select alpha such that it must be a primitive root of q. What is a primitive root? Let's check it out. A is a primitive root of q if a mod q, a raised to 2 mod q, a raised to 3, etc., etc., up to a raised to q minus 1 mod q gives result 1, 2, 3 up to q minus 1. That is, we can check it out an example that there's also one condition that alpha must be less than q. That q is the prime number that we are taking and the alpha must be less than q. So we can just look at an example about the primitive root. That is, here we are taking q is equal to 7. So we must do a mod q up to a raised to q minus 1 times. That is, here we take the a or alpha is equal to 3. So 3 raised to 1 mod q is equal to 3. And 3 raised to 2 mod 7 is equal to 2. The mod 7 is nothing but dividing the 3 raised to 2 by mod 7 and writing the remainder 2. And we will get 3 raised to 3 mod 7 is equal to 6, and 3 raised to 4 mod 7 is equal to 4, 3 raised to mod 7 is equal to 5, 3 raised to 6 mod 7 is equal to 1. So here we can see the answers are contain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is up to q minus 1. That is, here we have q is equal to 7, 7 minus 1, 6. So we get all numbers up to q minus 1. So 3 is a primitive root of 7. So I think we can check another number, that is 1. So 1 raised to 1 mod 7 is equal to 1, and 1 raised to 2 mod 7, that is also 1. So here the condition is not satisfied. That is, the condition is the value should not be replaced and we should have all values in the output set from 1 to q minus 1. Here we will get the same values. So the condition is not satisfied. That means 1 is not the primitive root of 7. So we can check the next number 2. 2 raised to 1 mod 7 is equal to, we know, 2. 2 raised to 2 mod 7 is 4. 2 raised to 3 mod 7 is equal to 1. 2 raised to 4 mod 7, we know, that is equal to 2. So here also we get the same numbers, that is it didn't satisfy the condition. So 2 is also not the primitive root of 7. And we can check here, we checked another number, that is 5. 5 raised to 1 mod 7 is equal to 5. 5 raised to 2 mod 7 is equal to 4. 5 raised to 3 mod 7 is equal to 6. 5 raised to 4 mod 7 is equal to 2. 5 raised to 5 mod 7 is equal to 3. 5 raised to 6 mod 7 is equal to 1. So here we will get up to 1, 2, q minus 1 different terms, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, q minus 1 different terms. So the condition is satisfied, and 5 is also the primitive root of 7. And the next step is assume xa, that is the private key of A. The first person, that is the person A, and xa is the private key of person A. Then it should be less than the q. Then we should calculate ya, that is the public key of A. That is calculated by the formula alpha raised to xa mod q. So I think I can show an example. Yes. In this example, we take q is equal to 7, that is a prime number, and alpha should be less than q. We check the primitive roots of 7, so we get the 3 and 5. We can take either 3 or 5. So I am taking here alpha is equal to 5. That is the primitive root of 7. And the alpha and q are the global public elements. That is, it will be known to all. And the key generation of person 1. And as I told earlier that about the key generation, assume private key xa, and I am assuming here the value 3 for xa. That is, it should be less than q, so 3 is less than 7, and calculating the public key of the person 1 ya, that is alpha raised to xa mod q. That is, we have here alpha is equal to 5, and 5 raised to 3 mod 7, that is 125 mod 7, dividing 125 with 7, and the remainder is 6. So ya is 6. And also the next step is to calculate the key generation of person 2, that is assume xb, that is the private key of b, person b. It should be also less than q, and we should calculate the public key of b, that is yb is equal to alpha raised to xb mod q. It can be shown that let the private key xb is equal to 4. I am here giving the xb the value 4 and calculating the public key, and public key yb is equal to alpha raised to xb mod q, that is 5 raised to 4 mod q, that is yb is equal to 2. So the public key of person 2, the person b, is 2. I think up to this I can explain it through a picture representation. That is, here it is the representation of what we have done, and the q and alpha are the global elements. To exchange the key between two persons, the q and alpha will be known to all. It is the global elements. Both of them don't need any information from anyone. They just use the alpha and q, which are known to all. and both of them will have a private key. That is, XA is the private key of the person 1 or the person A, and XB the private key of the person 2 or person B. And the public key is also visible to everyone and both of them, and that the public is YA is equal to 6 and YB is equal to 2. That we have calculated 6 and 2, and we get 6 and 2 here. And this is the pictorial representation. What is happening between two persons to exchange key securely using Diffie-Hellman key. So in the algorithm, the next step is to find the secret keys. Yes, this is the calculation of keys that we have already calculated the XA and XB. Now we have to calculate the secret key. To calculate the secret key, both the sender and receiver will use public keys. That the first person will use the public key of person B, and the second person will use the public key of person A. So the equation to find the key of person A is K1 is equal to YB raised to XA. This XA is, we know, it is the private key of A, and YB is the private key of the other person. YB is the public key of the other person, and in the case of other person, YA is the public key of the other person, and XB is the private key of that person itself. These two are the equation used to find the keys, and if these keys are equal, then we can say the exchange is successful. Exchange of key is successfully done in a secured way. And I think I can show you an example, the secret key calculation. That is, we use a formula for both persons, and the first person's formula is K1 is equal to YB raised to XA mod Q. That is, YB is the public key of person B, and XA is the private key of person A mod Q. This is the equation we are used to find the key, secret key, and we know that YB is equal to 2. That is 2 raised to 3 mod Q, that is 2 raised to 3 mod 7. That we know that is equal to 1. Then the next person, the formula is Y raised to A XA mod Q. Here the opposite of this equation is here, that is YA, that is the public key of person A, and X raised to A is the public key of person, sorry, I have a mistake, this is X raised to B. Y raised to A raised to X raised to B, that is X raised to B is the private key of the person 2 or person B mod Q, that is 6 raised to 4 mod Q. Six raised to mod Q, that is 6 into 6 into 6 into 6, that is 36 into 36 mod 7, that is also 1. So the both of the key are same, so we will get that the secret key is 1. So both of them will get the secret keys. So as the key is equal here and the condition is satisfied, the key is 1. So the key exchange is successful. I hope all of you understand the Diffie-Hellman key exchange protocol, and please feel free to ask any doubts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.